Okay, sorry about that, guys. I have no idea what happened. Hobbs just sometimes randomly decides to, it randomly decides to close itself. I don't know why. I set the start and stop for the stream to plus and minus or equals and underscore. No idea why that keeps on going. I'm trying to search for the
Game resumed.
Okay, well, like I was saying, Licorice Coke going for the standard Spirit opening, Grimsley going for the Saint opening, and I'm going to alt-tab back to OBS very frequently just to make sure the stream hasn't crashed. And so, Licorice Coke going for the Cherub as well. This is good for wave 10 because you update this to a Spirit to a Daemon. You update the Cherub to a Sephirim, which is magic damage, which does good against wave 9. Also has the debuff, which is good against wave 10. And Licorice Coke going for the second Cherub, just in case of Zealot send from Grimsley. We'll have to see. Both players might not have the 60 gas that they need in order to send the Zealot on wave 2, in which case there's no need for the second. There might be a need for the second Cherub if both send wings, but nope. Both going for the Zealot, trying to punish any greed from their opponents, and we'll see if they leak. This normally wouldn't leak pre-patch, but after the patch, armor was removed, but the minion's health was increased, which has made the waves a little more difficult. And looks like Licorice Coke will definitely leak. He'll leak 3 creeps. Oh, Grimsley will hold. Quite nice. Quite nice. Grimsley might have leaked if he just had the Saint, but the Cherub definitely helped in hold there. It what is the right word? It tanked? No. It drew the opponent's creeps over there, but looks like Licorice Coke holds with the Ascended Cherub. Ascended Cherub is the MVP of his squad. Grimsley has decided to go up to 2 workers. I guess this might be more of a practice build from him. He's definitely not afraid of leaking on 3, despite having 125 army value. This due in part to the magic damage, which is extra damage to massive, and 110 damage to light. And as you can see, 3 is light armor, which will be good for him, which will help him hold the wave better. But nope, going for the safety, what is this called, Essence, for a tank. Both players seeing nothing. And will Grimsley leak this? Nope. Saint's ability healing himself up, making sure he holds his wave quite nicely. And Grimsley going up to 3 workers now. Will he make anything to hold for wave 4? Looks like Shadow Builder. So Grimsley is banking on the Shadow Builder, resing his essence to have a double tank, and he's relying on that to hold through wave 4. And Licorice Coke definitely isn't bombing him, so that is a good choice. Not that Licorice Coke has the gas to. He sent a Ling on wave 3 and a Zelda on wave 2. Doesn't have the gas to bomb on wave 4. And as you can see, here's the Shadow Racial in effect. 3 tanks. And tanks from the Cherub. Looks like Grimsley might have overstayed his welcome here. He will definitely leak, and took a bit of a risk there. Some might say unnecessary risk, and leaks 5 for his risk. Leaking 5 creeps. And, well, this isn't so bad, but it does Definitely gives Licorice Coke a bit of an advantage now. We'll have to see what he does with it. Grimsley, does he even have minerals to make anything? Licorice Coke asking for why no ascend, and as we know, no ascend because Grimsley didn't make a daemon, or a spirit rather. Licorice Coke going for the daemon upgrade, and now just getting his third worker, a little bit late, but pretty safe. Grimsley already has his, but as you can see, the earlier worker lead for Grimsley, and the speed at which he got it allowed him to go up to 150, and allows him to send an immortal on wave 5. You don't see this very often. However, Licorice Coke well prepared for this with the daemon, and looks like this will be shut down hard. And Grimsley can't be too happy about this. Licorice Coke won't leak a thing, and he'll take his first speed as a result. Grimsley, ooh, maybe should have waited a wave for that. But I guess he wasn't expecting the early daemon from Licorice Coke, but Licorice Coke, playing it safe, pays off for him. Grimsley, on the other hand, getting this Rune Guard for his tank. Rune Guards only have 580 health, so they're basically tanks for the early game. Towards the mid game, the end of the early game and the mid game, you'll need something else to tank for you. Which he has this Slushing, which will kind of do it, plus the healing. Let's look on this side. Licorice Coke, was he chosen down with his gas? Going for Subcannon's upgrade again. Definitely going for this strategy more often, as Licorice Coke wants Grimsley to think that there's a gas bomb incoming and overbuild, I guess. By overbuilding in the early game, you definitely get behind. You can get behind economically, so it's always a good idea if you can get away with it to do so. So let's look at the unit compositions. Grimsley's main DPS is this Celestian, while Licorice Coke's is this Daemon. Both players having similar income. Licorice Coke, of course, by 2. Grimsley has a slightly higher army count, but Licorice Coke is 1 worker ahead. Let's see. Neither player is choosing to send. Both have very similar gas counts, so they'll be able to bomb on the same wave if they choose to do so. Sorry. Throat is a bit dry at the moment. Licorice Coke going for another upgrade. So kind of the same defense-oriented way of thinking as we saw in game number 1, I believe. Yeah, because game number 2, he didn't need to do this. But going for the same strategy as game number 1. Grimsley getting this first speed very late, but it's understandable as he doesn't know if Licorice Coke will choose to bomb against him. He has no way of knowing because he's not been able to make Licorice Coke leak at all. And let's see, I think Grimsley chose to upgrade his SS as well. Yep. He himself is going for the same strategy as Licorice Coke. Both players have definitely played enough games against each other to kind of know what they've seen this strategy before is what I'm trying to say. So it comes to no surprise that they can kind of expect this to happen. Okay, don't know what link that is, Licorice Coke. Maybe I'll look at it after this class is done. But, yep. So let's see. Grimsley, wow, he is Mercurial, wow. So he's definitely safe against any bomb on wave 8 or wave 9, and probably wave 10, he won't have to build much. So he's definitely expecting something big from Licorice Coke. But, unfortunately for him, Licorice Coke has upgraded his SS twice and is quite safe from this. Oh, it's wave 9, my bad. So I'll save him from wave 9 and 10. And Licorice Coke greedily going up. Well, not greedily. He's gone up to 5 workers and getting his 3rd SS upgrade. He might just go full RBG and go for a base race on 14 or 15 at this rate. Should be good. Going up to 6 workers, in fact. And Here's what I was saying before. He's got the Seraphim, the Daemon, and he's also got the Obliterator, which it is good for the Concussion Shell, which slows movement of the enemy by 10% per stack. It's good for making the boss move slowly to your main DPS, usually on the left side or right side. Maybe the left side. Grimsley, however, going up to 5 workers as well, after not seeing anything from Licorice Coke. He is definitely not that far behind economically, only 1 worker. And he is decided to go for the first gas bomb after the wave 5, going for an immortal, probably will follow up with another aura or 2. While Licorice Coke opts to go for a 7th worker. And if he's not careful, he doesn't build anything else, he might just leak. We'll have to see. Licorice Coke going for the Terminator MK2.
Upgrade complete.
And Grimsley going for 6 workers as well. Looks like Grimsley's attack won't do much. And Licorice Coke, having 675 value, sees 2 aura units from Grimsley, which in fact will still make him weak. Like I said, Daemon's very good early game, but during the mid game, not as much. Grimsley will definitely hold, very good for him. And Licorice Coke leaks 7. And now is really Grimsley's time to scout out Licorice Coke. But I'm on Grimsley's first person cam. Looks like he doesn't opt to look at Licorice Coke's SS. Not sure why. There's definitely some valuable information to be gained there, like 3 orbs or 3 upgrades, but whatever you want to do. Maybe he doesn't want to get distracted. Sometimes if you read too much into it, you might expect or not expect a gas bomb that you normally would or wouldn't otherwise if you didn't look, so maybe just doesn't want to psych himself out, so to speak. Licorice Coke going for that 12 bomb. Queen, a bunch of wings. Doing that because of his leak will make this gas bomb much stronger. Grimsley going up to 815 army slot, which would be normal, but based on his DPS type, which is magic, like I said before, does quite poorly on wave 12. And looks like his android will survive, but does the rest of his DPS survive? That is a big question. Celestian taking a lot of shots, but now it's on to his last form of DPS, the Mercurial, and it will fall, but he doesn't leak much. And Licorice Coke leaks just as much, basically. He only leaks the same amount of creeps, and Grimsley has only leaked the Queen more. Well played. I believe Grimsley is sent again on wave 12. Good for him. And both players, let's look at where they are. Grimsley behind in income for sure, but army value wise he's ahead, and he's equal in income to Licorice Coke, so basically a much more even game than we saw in games 2 for sure, and game 1 as well, I believe. Form of DPS for wave 13, Grimsley will have a good time, will be fine. His units do extra damage to light, which is what wave 13 is. Of course, neither player expecting a large gas bomb wave 13, as both saw a gas bomb from wave 12. And both players hold. Like I said, Licorice Coke going for the sub-cannons route. Definitely wants to base trade at some point, or he'll send big later on. As the waves go on, probably wave 15 and up, he might send big after he upgrades sub-cannons to their fullest. And Grimsley kind of playing in the dark, because I don't believe he clicked on Licorice Coke's SS. but he's not expecting a big gas bomb on this wave. Otherwise, I expect at least 1,000 or 1,100 army value from him. And neither player is sending. And Grimsley is just holding on to this gas, probably to bomb on 15. Yep. Sends a Megaling. Send a couple more orders as well. While Licorice Coke, I believe. Okay, Licorice Coke is saving the gas now. He has opted not to get his last sub-cannons upgrade. And with this saved up gas, he'll probably be able to send on 17 or a less gas intensive bomb on 16, I'd say.
Upgrade
But let's
complete.
look at the real question. Will Licorice Coke be able to hold this double aura so far? Probably a medic in there as well, gas bomb. He's gone up to 1305 army supply. Not a lot of magic DPS. Oh, never mind. The two Adept Seraphims are good magic DPS along with the Starry, but they don't have a high fire rate. So, which means they can definitely they can deal damage, but not as much damage, not as quickly. You'll see the double aura, the triple aura, mind you, and with 1305 army value, we'll be able to hold the creeps leak to his DPS, but he's got a lot of DPS, but the Megaling survives, and his towers fall, and Licorice Coke leaks 3 creeps, 2 auras. Not too bad. Not game breaking by any means. And Licorice Coke is now able to go up to his 9th worker and doesn't have to worry about any big send on wave 16. Of course, there could still be a send from Grimsley, it just won't be a massive one. So with his 1305 army supply, he might feel a little bit safe to just drone up or eco up for wave 16. Of course, all of his DPS has short range, so if Grimsley were to send a massive amount of wings, which he is doing for wave 16, then Licorice Coke could very easily leak. And it looks like Licorice Coke is going for it, going for the second speed upgrade, while Grimsley has already gotten a second speed upgrade, and it's going up to 1345 army value as well. Licorice Coke sending for the Broodlord Goliath, both players choosing to bomb on this wave. Let's see who's able to fend it off. Technically, Grimsley should be facing the higher gas bomb, but Licorice Coke, of course, has the better SS upgrades, and Grimsley will hold this quite handily with the Dark Mages, increasing the attacking speed of his units. And looks like Licorice Coke is going to leak again. Kind of the opposite situation that we saw in Wave 2. Now Grimsley has the option to just lean on his opponent, hopefully kill him in the later rounds. Of course, the slip cannons from Licorice Coke will definitely help him out and save himself, but it'll only work for so long. You can only rely on sub cannons to kill like a big gas bomb wave up to like wave 17 or 18. For wave 19, you need something more if you're going to leak massively. And also on wave 20, it doesn't really help as much because there's just one big unit that you're leaking. And someone's asking for the stream links. I will give it to them. Here you go. And as we can see, Grimsley's up by 2 workers, choosing to send again on wave 17, just burning on Licorice Coke. He's not only is this good to make your opponent leak, but if your opponent doesn't leak, well, he's eco sending. But if he doesn't leak, you can tell, you kind of get a good sense of how big your opponent's army is. If your opponent keeps on leaking, you're saying like, oh, they're investing into economy. They're not investing enough in defense. Whereas if you cause them, if they don't leak, you're saying okay, they've defended enough, but their economy won't be as good. So maybe I won't expect as big of a gas bomb from this player. We'll have to see what he does. Grimsley going up to his 13th worker, 1655 army supply on wave 18, quite solid. Licorice Coke going up to similar army supply. Grimsley is way ahead in eco value. 3 workers ahead, but as you can see, he's mining like almost 100 more than his opponent per second, or per minute rather. And both players just saving up for a big gas bomb on wave 19 or 20. Probably 19. And both players see nothing on 18, so you know what time it is now. Prepare for wave 19. Let's see what they send. Grimsley going for the DT Hellion and probably some ores with this. Licorice Coke going for the Hellion Hydra. Hydra for the stunning, Hellion for the armor reduction. DT for Grimsley basically increases the speed of the wave, and also is a pretty good tank destroyer as well, with the normal damage and the fast attack rate. Both players definitely expecting something going up to 1900 value, roughly. Licorice Coke wants his laser battery, the AoE from the laser battery to hold it for him, while Licorice Coke has his pyro, double adept, and this pulverizer. Let's help him hold. Let's see who leaks and who doesn't. Licorice Coke's waves are going down. Oh, Grimsley's tanks are already gone. Licorice Coke's tanks are gone as well. And all these low range units were not able to get in the fight fast enough. And he'll leak 6. Grimsley, however, leaks 9. And without the SS upgrades, he might just lose right here. It looks like Licorice Coke's defense might have worked. Grimsley has no subcannons to speak of. Licorice Coke's gonna hold us no problem. However, he's working on these ore units, but it doesn't look like it's enough. Grimsley goes down 0-3, and we're now 3-0 in Licorice Coke's favor. We're at match point, and that'll be it for game number